Hello everyone, my name is Ryan Cam, and welcome to the conclusion of Not Nolan Month. Thank you, COVID. This is the series where I will be reviewing every single Christopher Nolan movie in honor of Tenet, thankfully and finally coming to theaters. I've covered everything from Following through Interstellar. If you'd like to check those out, they would be linked in the eye in the right-hand corner. But for right now, let's dig into Nolan's least Nolan film, Dunkirk. After spending so many years doing original concepts, people, or at least me, were very intrigued to see what Nolan would do when this movie was announced. And after a genius teaser trailer, I was beyond hyped for this movie. And what we got was, well, what I generously like to call Nolan's least Nolan film. Similar to Inception, this is a movie that he came up with before he became a director. He and his future wife were on a boat trip through the English Channel, and they just so happened to cross the very route that the Dunkirk boats passed when they picked up the boys from the Dunkirk landing. When he saw this, he basically pulled a Peter Jackson and said, someone should make a movie about that. And then he decided it was going to be him. But similar to Inception, he put that off to the side so he could get more experience. Thank God he waited. But from looking into research for this movie, I found out that Nolan approached this more like a documentary than an actual movie. Kind of seeing this as something like Band of Brothers rather than Saving Private Ryan. And of course, Nolan being Nolan, he used real boats, real planes, shot on the actual location where the Dunkirk landing took place, and just used as much practical effects as he could get his hands on, with a lot of the same crew that he has used throughout his entire filmography, including Wally Pfister coming back to be the man behind the camera, and using natural light to light the scenes. It was very much a non-Nolan film, but I think it turned out to be pretty successful. But of course, there are others out there who do not agree with me. There are very vocal anti-Dunkirk people out there, and they're not wrong for this. I'm not trying to get anyone in trouble or anything or say that they're wrong. But when this movie came out, there was a lot of people who just found the movie to be very disappointing. And if I had to venture a guess as to why, I think it boils down to one thing. To them, this movie has no three-dimensional characters. There's no one that we can gravitate towards, if you catch my drift. However, and my stance has remained consistent on this, I've always seen Dunkirk as nothing like, say, Saving Private Ryan or Hacksaw Ridge, but more of a movie like The Longest Day, where it's not about one particular person, but about an event. And Dunkirk is not about any particular person or group of people, but it's about an event, and how a group of people have to get out of there before they all die. I think this quote from Nolan himself, nails down the entire thinking of this movie in one sentence. He's quoted as saying, "The empathy for the characters has nothing to do with their story. I did not want to go through the dialogue, tell the story of my characters. The problem is not who they are, who they pretend to be, or where they come from. The only question I was interested in was, will they get out of it? Will they be killed by the next bomb while trying to join the mole, or will they be crushed by a boat while crossing?" And that whole sentence kind of explains why this movie works. It's because that it's not about any particular person, but it's about how these group of people, these boys, are just... they're in a must-lose situation, and the only way they can get out is with the help of outsiders. My favorite actors of the bunch were Mark Rylance, who has a pretty small role but is still incredibly effective. I won't go too deep into it in case any of you have seen it. Tom Hardy, my boy Tom Hardy, is naturally awesome as a fighter pilot, and of course he wears a mask over his face, because of course it's like an unwritten law somewhere. But he is really good. And Cillian Murphy has some of my favorite lines in the movie. But beyond any of the story or the acting, this movie is a visual feast. Every shot in this movie just looks so jaw-droppingly beautiful. Wally Pfister outdid himself with this one. All of the dogfights are using real planes. All of the ship battles are using real ships. And all of the actors are standing on an actual beach, the actual place of the Dunkirk landing. So it's about as close to the genuine article as you can possibly get. And with that, there are a few scenes where I was petrified. There's a scene where this UK medical boat comes in to get some of the soldiers off the beach, and the Germans just absolutely pelt this thing with bombs, and it starts to sink, and you just see... Oh, I get PTSD just thinking about it. You see just everybody abandoning ship, and you just see this wall of water just go... It's like death coming your way. But I think when thinking of the ending of this movie, Nolan went to the Frank Capra school of directing, aka, it doesn't matter how dark you get, as long as the heroes get to win. And the heroes do win. My absolute favorite part of this movie is that this movie has just been building and building and building and building. As in, if these boats are going to get there, if the civilians are going to get the people off the beach. And then Kenneth Branagh, who plays a captain, goes onto like one of the jetties. He gets his binoculars, he looks through, and one of the officers asks him, "What is it?" And then Branagh lowers the binoculars and he just says, "Home." And Hans Zimmer's score kicks in, and there's just boats as far as the eye can see. It's such an awesome moment, because the entire movie is a pressure cooker, and you're just there like, come on, get there, get there, get there. And when they get there, they get there. And it's beautiful. And it's only topped when one of the soldiers reads Winston Churchill's speech, the infamous, "We shall defend our island, whatever the cost may be. We shall fight in the hills and the streets. We shall never surrender" speech. I'm sure it has a name, but that's the lines that I've always remembered. And at the end of the day, this is yet another Nolan movie that, if you don't like, I do get it. I think I may understand your dislike of this movie a little bit more than Interstellar and The Dark Knight Rises. But at the end of the day, I think this movie is genius. And it's clear that the Silver Age in many ways is just as good as the Golden Age. But I've been sitting here for like months now thinking about Tenet, and at the time of this recording, several reviews have come in, and while some have been incredibly praiseworthy, there have been some that are just like, it's okay. I tend to not focus too highly on critical opinions. I just try to make my own opinions and reference critics whenever I see something I like, or if I try to use it as an example. But I am genuinely curious to see what Nolan is going to do with Tenet. I have a theory. I'm not going to say it now, but when I do see it and do my review, I will tell you all about it. What I will say, though, is this. I think Tenet has something to do with another movie in Nolan's filmography. Something that came out about a decade ago. But that is all for me, guys. Thank you so much, as always, for watching. And thank you for watching Nolan Month. I know it's been a bit off and on, and I joke about the timing, of course, but when the movie got delayed, it just threw my schedule all out of whack. So thank you all for your patience, and when I do see Tenet, I do plan on doing a spoiler-free and a spoiler-filled review, but I actually have to see it. But thankfully, it's only days away. Thank God. But if you like this video, please be sure to leave a like, comment your thoughts down in the comments down below, and if you like this video and you want to see more like it, hit the subscribe button and click the bell to allow notifications. That way when a new video drops, you'll be the first to know about it. My name is Ryan Cam, and I'll see you in the next one.